Imagine a life where fear no longer holds you back. A life where you approach challenges with calm, clarity, and confidence. What if I told you that Buddhist teachings, which have guided millions toward peace and wisdom for over 2,500 years, offer powerful tools to overcome fear and transform your mindset? In today's video, we are going to explore 6 profound Buddhist lessons that will help you move beyond fear, embrace life with courage, and step into your true potential. These insights will shift your perspective, allowing you to break free from the grip of anxiety and reclaim your inner peace. If you're ready to transform fear into wisdom and strength, let's begin. Buddha taught that everything in life is impermanent, including our fears. Fear thrives when we resist change and cling to the illusion of stability. We fear losing things, our job, our health, our loved ones. But the reality is that change is inevitable. Impermanence can be unsettling, but it is also liberating. Understanding that everything, including fear itself, is temporary, allows us to loosen our grip on worry. The suffering we experience today will not last forever. When we embrace this truth, we stop overthinking the future and start living with more equanimity, the ability to remain calm amid life's uncertainties. Take a moment to observe the natural changes around you. The seasons shift, the sun rises and sets, and even the strongest storms pass. Just as nature flows in constant motion, so do our emotions, fears, and challenges. Nothing is permanent. The anxiety you feel today will fade, just as past struggles have. When we internalize this reality, we can approach life with a greater sense of peace, no longer fearing what is to come or clinging to what has passed. Rather than resisting change, we can learn to flow with it. By surrendering to the impermanent nature of all things, we release ourselves from the cycle of fear and suffering. Much of our fear comes not from actual danger, but from our thoughts. We create mental scenarios of failure, rejection, or disaster, most of which never happen. Fear is often a projection, not reality. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff. Your heart races, your palms sweat. But are you in danger? No. Your mind is anticipating something that isn't happening. Fear is a mental pattern that can be broken. It is a signal that you are stepping outside your comfort zone, growing, expanding. Instead of resisting fear, see it as a sign of progress. Our minds are powerful storytellers, crafting elaborate fears that rarely materialize. Every time we believe in these fearful narratives, we give them power. But when we step back and observe them with detachment, we begin to see them for what they are, fleeting thoughts, not truths. Each time fear arises, pause. Ask yourself, is this fear real? Or is it just my mind creating an illusion? Recognizing fear as a product of your thoughts, rather than an absolute truth, is the first step to dismantling it. When fear loses its credibility, it loses its control over you. Fear lives in the past and future, but never in the present. Mindfulness teaches us to return to now, where fear has no power. Mindfulness allows us to observe fear without reacting to it. Instead of being consumed by anxious thoughts, we simply notice them, without judgment, without attachment. By practicing mindfulness, we create space between ourselves and fear, weakening its grip over us. When fear arises, anchor yourself in the present through deep breathing. With every inhale, feel your body grounding into reality. With every exhale, release the weight of anxious thoughts. This moment, right now, is free from fear. The more we practice bringing ourselves back to the present, the less control fear has over us. Rather than running from fear, sit with it. Observe it. Give it space. Fear, like all emotions, will pass when we allow it to move through us, rather than suppressing or resisting it. Fear is a form of suffering, and suffering is universal. The Buddha taught that everyone experiences pain, loss, and uncertainty. You are not alone in your fears. When we see fear as part of the human experience rather than a personal failure, we shift our perspective. Fear is not something to be ashamed of. It is something we all navigate. Realizing this creates a sense of connection rather than isolation, making fear more manageable. Understanding that suffering is an inevitable part of life allows us to cultivate resilience. Rather than resisting or fearing discomfort, we begin to accept it. Through acceptance, suffering becomes more bearable, and fear becomes less overwhelming. The key is not to escape suffering, but to transform our relationship with it. Attachment is one of the biggest sources of fear, often tying us to the illusion of permanence. We fear losing relationships, status, material possessions, or control over our lives. Yet the truth is, nothing truly belongs to us. Everything is temporary. Situations, emotions, even the people we love. The more we cling to things, the more we suffer when they inevitably change or slip away. Letting go of attachment does not mean becoming indifferent or not caring. Rather, it means embracing life with an open heart, without clinging to what must naturally change. It means valuing and appreciating what we have, but not making it the foundation of our happiness. True peace comes when we understand that happiness does not come from external circumstances, but from our inner state of being. When we release our attachment to specific outcomes, we free ourselves from the constant anxiety of "what if?" and allow life to unfold organically. By shifting from attachment to appreciation, we move through life with greater ease. We learn to enjoy the present moment fully without the fear of losing it. When we stop grasping at control, we make space for serenity. Instead of desperately holding on to relationships, achievements, or possessions, we can appreciate them for what they are, temporary gifts on our journey. Loosening our grip helps us live with greater flexibility, reducing fear and anxiety, and making room for deeper peace and fulfillment. Fear often arises from impatience, the urgent need for immediate answers, quick fixes, or certainty in an uncertain world. When we rush to resolve discomfort or force outcomes, we strengthen the grip of fear. But life unfolds on its own timeline, and trying to control every moment only creates more anxiety. The Buddha taught that patience is the antidote to fear, offering a pathway to resilience and wisdom. Patience is not passive endurance, but an active practice of acceptance. It allows us to embrace uncertainty rather than resist it, teaching us that discomfort, like all things, is temporary. Fear thrives on urgency, but patience dismantles its hold by reminding us that everything evolves in its own time. When we cultivate patience, we build emotional resilience, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with a calm, steady heart, rather than panic or distress. Instead of fearing what lies ahead, trust in the natural flow of life. Not every problem needs an instant solution. Growth unfolds gradually, healing takes time, and wisdom deepens through experience. By developing patience, we liberate ourselves from the restless mind that fuels fear. The more we embrace patience, the less we allow fear to dictate our choices, allowing space for clarity, growth, and true inner peace. Fear is not something to be defeated. It is something to be understood and transcended. Through mindfulness, wisdom, and self-compassion, we can transform fear into a force for growth. Each time you face fear with awareness, you reclaim your power. Remember, fear is not a barrier. It is a doorway. Step through it, and you will find a life filled with courage, peace, and freedom. If this video resonated with you, make sure to check out our next video where we explore the Buddhist secret to lasting inner peace. See you there.